Relax. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw loosen. Feel the quiet weight of the moment gently settling around you, like a warm shawl placed with care. Notice the air as it moves in and out of you unhurried, kind, patient. There is nothing you need to do right now. Nothing you need to solve. Just this breath, and then the next. Imagine you are outdoors, somewhere calm and old, a place where time has learned to walk slowly. A faint breeze brushes your skin, cool but not cold, carrying the scent of stone, earth, and distant pine. Leaves rustle softly, not to distract you, but to remind you that the world is breathing alongside you. As you listen, your thoughts can drift, like clouds passing without effort across a wide, open sky. And when you're ready, without rushing, without trying, our story today begins. Our story today sets sail at a silent monastery garden, resting beneath a sky full of stars. The monastery stood at the edge of a high valley, its stone walls silvered by moonlight. By day, bells marked the hours, but by night, silence ruled deep, welcoming, and alive. In the center of the garden, a monk sat on a low wooden bench. His robe was simple, worn smooth by years of prayer and patience. Before him lay a small gravel path, raked into gentle curves that mirrored the flow of water. Above him stretched a sky vast, endless, and quietly luminous. This monk had a habit. Each night, when the world grew still, he came here to count the stars, not to measure them, not to control them, only to notice. He lifted his gaze slowly, as though he were careful not to disturb the heavens. The stars shimmered, scattered like grains of salt across dark velvet. Some were bright and steady, others flickered gently, as if blinking in a shared secret. As the monk inhaled, cool night air filled his lungs. As he exhaled, the day released him. He began, as always, with the first star above the old cedar tree. One, he whispered not aloud, but inside his heart. A soft wind passed through the garden, stirring the leaves. They whispered back, approving, encouraging, unhurried. Long ago, people believed these stars guided human fate, that each constellation carried instructions for living, paths for love, warnings for loss, promises of return. The monk did not argue with these beliefs. He simply listened. With each star he counted, his thoughts grew quieter, not because he forced them to stop, but because they felt safe enough to rest. 2. A star shaped like a tiny lantern, glowing low on the horizon. 3. A cluster like a bow, holding darkness gently inside it. Somewhere beyond the garden wall, a hearth crackled softly inside the monastery. The sound drifted through the night, steady and comforting, like a heartbeat you don't need to think about. The monk remembered his teacher, many years ago, speaking in a voice as calm as still water. Do not try to understand the sky, the teacher had said. Let the sky understand you. So the monk sat, and breathed, and counted. As you listen, you might imagine yourself there too, sitting beside him, or standing just behind, wrapped in the same peaceful hush. You feel the cool stone beneath your feet. The ground is firm, supportive. You are held. The monk traced a familiar constellation with his is a slow movement, like following a river from source to sea. With each point of light, his shoulders dropped a little more. His brow smoothed. The effort of being someone in the world eased away. 4. This star reminded him of endings that were also beginnings. 5. This one carried the memory of kindness received unexpectedly. A pause followed. Not an empty pause, a full one. Crickets began their evening song, rhythmic and gentle. Their chorus wove itself between the monk's breaths, creating a lullaby older than words. He folded his hands loosely in his lap. No tension, no purpose beyond being present. The sky, patient and vast, did not rush him. As minutes stretched, the counting became less important. Numbers softened, edges blurred. The stars were no longer separate points, but part of a single, breathing whole. And perhaps, as you listen now, your own thoughts are doing the same, loosening their grip, drifting from sharp shapes into softer forms, allowing rest to arrive naturally. The monk closed his eyes for a moment. Behind his lids, the stars remained imprinted gently, like memories that do not demand attention. He whispered a prayer, not spoken, only felt. A prayer of gratitude. For silence, for breath, for the quiet permission to be small beneath something infinite. When he opened his eyes again, the sky seemed closer. Not nearer in distance, but nearer in understanding. 6. The word barely formed before dissolving into the night. A cloud drifted lazily across part of the heavens, dimming a few stars, revealing others. The monk welcomed the change. Nothing needed to stay the same to be beautiful. And you too can welcome this moment exactly as it is. Nothing to adjust, nothing to fix. The breeze cooled slightly, brushing your skin like a caring hand. Somewhere, far off, an owl called once, then fell silent again. The monk smiled, just a little. Counting stars was never about finishing. It was about slowing enough to notice that he was already home. His breathing deepened. Each inhale gathered calm. Each exhale released the day. And as the garden rested, as the sky turned slowly above, as the stars continued their quiet watch, the monk remained still, counting, not to stay awake, but to drift gently toward sleep.